Knowledge is power. Make an impact by learning more. Call us right now for more help at 866-945-8070. Exactly 8 o'clock, and then we're going to go live on Facebook. So bear with me while I do that. Talk amongst yourselves. Ooh, it looks like it was easier this time somehow.
Have you ever been to that hotel in Las Vegas that had the shooting, or the man?
No, I don't go to Las Vegas. The only time I've been to Las Vegas was for the Sleater conference, actually.
Okay.
It's not a place for me.
Sin City.
Yeah, it's just there's a time where I probably would have felt right at home there, but at 18 years sober, it's not a place I want to be hanging out really, unless I absolutely have to. And we're live with Atlaz.io. I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. Hold on, posting. Good morning, happy Friday. It's October 6th, 2017, and we're off to our usual early start on a Friday morning. Today we're going to talk about Atlaz.io, or it's like Atlas but with a Z. Maybe it's Atlas or Atlaz or Atlazian. I don't know. It's at something. And it's a lot like Trello, but it's got something new that I've always wished Trello would have. The swim lanes. Gina, we're going to learn how to swim today. I saw your comment in the registration. We're going swimming.
Nice to be able to go swimming while I'm working.
Exactly. So what's going on in everybody's world? Sarah, what's happening there in Seattle-ville-ish? Or
Portland.
Portland.
No, okay.
I'm in Seattle.
It's all the same up there to me. You go northwest, it all kind of blends together. It's that whole corner of the country.
You can't say that about California.
Cascadia.
That's true.
I think they call it Cascadia.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's good. We have good weather. It's good. And it's I've been doing really well with my goals. So
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways.
Nice. You mean your business goals? You mean your 97 and up goals?
Yes.
All right. I love hearing that.
And I'll have to do the new template thing that you mentioned. So that's my homework. But.
Yes, we have a new template set up for going into next year, and we are going to be featuring that template at QuickBooks Connect during my session.
I'm excited.
So if anybody's wondering what the hell we're talking about, it's the whole first section of the 97 and up course concerns itself with building a plan around, how many customers you want to have and what your services that you're offering are and what you're charging at each different level. And, it's really a simple financial model that you fill out. And in doing so, you arrive at a goal and say, here's what I want to do each month. And based on that, here's my daily goal. And then, of course, the discipline is that we keep that goal open every single day. And as money comes in, we just key it in and say, all right, I got, a monthly subscription renewal for a consulting client that pays X number of dollars a month. I key that in, and that's how much came in today. And that gets compared with the goal to see where we're at cumulatively throughout the month. And it helps us stay ridiculously focused on meeting and hopefully eventually exceeding those goals. So that's what that's all about. In fact, I've got a blog post coming out that I started writing yesterday that kind of outlines the whole program, not just that part of it, where I really wanted to create a resource that gives you the landscape for how to start or restart and grow and scale your business from the ground up. First thing is having the plan. Second thing is going to be having the home, which most of us, I think, if not all of us, have a website, but then looking at how to understand how to update that website, get somebody else to build it, somebody who's a professional, but know how to update it yourself. Then, of course, we need to learn how to create content, and that's the part that's about to roll out. I'm so excited about this. I literally have a lesson on how to write a blog post in there that's rolling out. And at first I thought it was going to be kind of a dumb lesson to do, but by the time I was done actually laying out the material for that lesson, I had actually learned a lot in the process that I was like, man, I need to stick to this formula. And it's the formula that I lay out in the lesson, which we went over recently in one of our weekly 97 Up calls that we do. where you really you end up with a really solid structure in the form of an outline that goes into your blog post. And the way it came out when I did it, I didn't necessarily plan it, to be honest. But when I was done, I was like, holy crap, this is good. I need to follow this formula myself every single time, and I plan to. So anyway, and then getting into the social selling, right? Because now that we have content, we have to bring people to it, right? And the whole idea is kind of, thinking of the internet as our gigantic 24/7, 365 networking group, right? Where we have exposure to a lot more people in a lot less time than we'd ever get going to our local networking groups. And I'm not knocking the local networking groups. I'm just saying the velocity of using the internet that way is, I can't even give you an exponent to describe the difference, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Plus it's 24/7.
Plus it's 24/7 instead of going to a 1 or 2 hour networking event where you're going to meet 30 people, right? You have millions. So anyway, so this blog post I'm going to release probably later today or maybe tomorrow on the Nerd Enterprises blog. And then I'm going to do, this is a strategy I'll share with you right here that I think every one of us should be doing, because on LinkedIn, if you ever have written a post on LinkedIn, like a blog post, the way they let you do there, those get really good traction. But you don't want the real meat to be there. You want the real meat to be in your website. So I'm going to do an experiment actually with this particular blog post where I'm going to put the full-fledged post in my blog at nerdenterprises.com, but then I'm going to create like an abridged version. I'm just going to cut stuff out of it and put that in LinkedIn as a post, and then link over and say, if you want the whole thing, click here and come over to my blog and get the whole thing. And of course, I'll have a video that I'll do, kind of talking about the stuff that's going on in that blog post and everything else. And really the blog post is going to be derived from the actual outline of the course. So anyway, it all ties in. It's all connected.
Well, good. I'm glad, because I'd like to know what LinkedIn is good for these days. I have really stopped using LinkedIn or even going to the website like a whole lot lately.
I have been aggressively adding contacts on LinkedIn, to be honest with you, and because it organically builds, and I do get inquiries from LinkedIn. LinkedIn, for whatever reason, people seem to go on looking for something, but they actually read stuff on LinkedIn. That's what I've noticed, is they actually seem to read stuff, and you get a lot of traffic from LinkedIn over to your website. So if you're posting stuff, like even in my feed where I have Meet Edgar now, which we went over a few weeks ago, automatically posting my content to my LinkedIn feed. And every morning I have at least a few comments or likes from people on LinkedIn. This morning, this was brilliant. I didn't even realize this was happening, but apparently when I upload a video to Vimeo, which is where all the private videos go, it puts a notice out on LinkedIn and all the others, saying Seth David has uploaded a video, and it gives the title. And yesterday I had uploaded a couple of the video lessons for the 97 and Up course, which of course are private. So somebody apparently clicked over because they were intrigued by the title, and they commented saying, hey, it says the page is not available. So on the one hand, that's not great. On the other hand, it gave me an opportunity to say, hey, this is actually, a lesson that's going to be available in a course within the next week or so when I launch this whole section in the 97 and Up course. So it could go either way. It could piss somebody off because they can't get access to the content that they feel like they were promised because they saw it in my feed. Or it could be a way of getting them interested and getting them to want to sign up. It might be worth the $97 just to see that one lesson. And I have a feeling they'll find there's more that they'll find valuable. So anyway. Larry says Slack must owe Seth money for his Edgar posts. Yeah, well, I did. That's a funny one. So what was happening there is I had scheduled in Meet Edgar. I had created a what do you call it? A category for classes that I'm teaching, and then I scheduled that category to hit several of my channels, my personal feed, the Between Wall and Main group, and my Nerd Enterprises Inc. Facebook page. And it was scheduled to hit twice a day because I really wanted to drive signups for this course that I was supposed to do today, actually, at Santa Monica College. We wound up canceling it. I had exactly one person signed up. That's part of the reason why I turned up the heat on it, because I was hoping to get more people to sign up. But what was happening is people who are connected to me through all those channels were seeing like seeing it 3 times twice a day, like 6 times a day. And so sometimes you do these things and you don't think about the impact from the other side of it. So a few people actually complained to me, and I turned it down. I lowered the volume on those Slack posts, and then we ended up canceling the class. So it turned out to be ineffective anyway. Maybe people got so tired of seeing the post that they said the last thing they want to do is sign up for the class and spend a whole day with me on it. I don't know. Anyway, it was a failed experiment. Let's put it that way. So with all that said, let's talk about what we're supposed to talk about today. How many people here actually use Trello? I'm curious, or have used it. Anybody? Anybody else? Gina, Sarah, Dennis, have you ever used Trello? No? All right. So, it might be worthwhile to look at Trello while we're talking about Atlaz. Right? So let me bring up a tab on my screen, and I will not forget to share it this time. Everybody see New York City?
Now I do.
All right. New York City. I love today's quote. A wet man does not fear the rain. It's just like, sounds dumb, but I guess it's actually kind of profound, right? Anyway, then of course I have my weather forecast, which says it's finally effing sunny outside, but just wait, something is going to F up your day. I should put that in the inspirational quotes. All right, so let's go to Trello. I haven't been in my Trello account in forever. And, it's very smart, I think, what they do, because Trello costs like $5 a month. So I forget about it, and I'm kind of like, okay, so who cares? It's $5 a month. What do I care? But $5 a month is $60 a year. So, but I think it's smart because it's the kind of thing where I'm like, I don't want to cancel it for $5 a month. I'll just keep it because maybe I'll use it, right? Rather than having to cancel and then, sign up again. So here's Trello, and we have obviously different boards, and you can group your boards and organize things that way. So if I go into, this is an old thing that I was doing where I was trying to keep track of content. There's probably some gems in here I could go through and do. But so here's like where I kept inboxes and ideas. But one of the problems I've always had with Trello is all I can ever do is go infinitely to the right if I want to add more lists, right? I can't go downwards. I can only go to the right. So that's the first thing that caught my eye about Atlaz. So we'll bring that up here. Is that it does let you go down, and that's where these so-called swim lanes come in, right? So let's go to their sample Kanban view. Now let me close the menu here. And right away, I have these different swim lanes. Let's add a task here so we can kind of get some context there, right? And so just like Trello, I can create these cards. I can move them around. I created this swim lane actually at the top here called Get It Done. Down here we have blockers. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Some of these came in as, as the standard or default, right? Because this is just a sample Kanban view. Then we have high priority, and then we have do it later. So right away you can see where this gets, I think, much more manageable than having something where I have infinite right scrolling and I have no idea what's to my right. And I think generally it's just a lot easier to scroll up and down than right and left. I mean, my mouse happens to have a sideways scroll wheel on the side of it. I don't know if everybody's mouses have that. I just happen to have a mouse that does. But otherwise you would have to grab the scroll bar to keep going and going and going and going to the right. So this is this is the first thing that caught my eye about this product, is that you can create these. And if we go down to the bottom now, again, this is an unboxing, so I purposely only spent a little bit of time just to get a rough idea. So the question is, how do we add a new swim lane? I think it's here. Yeah, here, create swim lane. So new swim lane, and we'll call this BUM tasks or something like that. So, and again, this is, the way this is set up, it looks like it's organized to kind of describe the priority of the tasks, right? But it doesn't have to be. You can set this up any way you want. So when I create the new swim lane, it puts it at the top. I haven't tried this, but I'm assuming I can easily reorder these. So let me kind of consolidate all of it. So I can zip them all up, and I assume, yeah, that I can just drag these down so that if I want BOM tasks at the bottom. I don't know how easy that was to see, but it's literally just click and drag on the swim lane, right? And obviously it's easier to do when they're zipped up. I wonder if there's a way to, just instantly, zip them all up, right? That would be something I would love to see on this, is to be able to say collapse all, kind of like we have in QuickBooks when you're looking at reports with collapse and expand. Over here, there's another menu. So this menu is sort of a menu of items related to the particular project that we're in, right? This is sort of the bigger picture menu where you can set up and organize your actual project. So notice I created like a folder called Nerd HQ. Or actually, I think they created that for me because that's what I may have called it. And so here's the different kinds of boards. Like we were just looking at Kanban. There's also a roadmap board, which is really just a Gantt chart. Right, that's all this is. And we're familiar with this because we've seen this in a lot of other project management applications. Active Collab has this kind of view. I don't know if Asana does. Does Asana have a Gantt chart view? I don't think it does, actually. Everybody's quiet. Y'all still here? Everybody's muted. So I can't hear you. I don't think Asana does, but Active Collab does. A lot of project management tools have this, so it should be something that's familiar to us. They call it a roadmap view. Sprint, I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what the difference is between a sprint board and a regular Kanban. It looks the same to me.
It looks like it has less cards. It's like in action items.
Oh, well, here it says start sprint. So let's see what this does. Oh, so it's, I guess, where you have maybe a very specific and ideally, and probably specifically sort of a short range.
Yeah.
And if I
I guess that's
start,
nice for a standalone project, too.
Yeah. I'd like to learn more. Let's check their help files. And let's search for sprint to see what kind of help they have on it. A sprint board. Okay, so that was pretty easy. To create a sprint board, go to the left menu, click Add New, in the pop-up window, enter board name. Please bear in mind that sprint board can be assigned only to one project. Also remember that on a sprint board, there strictly should be at least one column of each type: to do, in progress, done. When the board is created, fill in with the tasks, rate them, and add members to the test. As soon as the board is ready, you can start the sprint. Click the Start Sprint button, set up sprint end date, and start the sprint. To navigate the sprint timeframe, open the board menu. Progress tracker is updated every time when a task is moved to the Done column. That's the other thing that I thought was cool about this. Let me back up for a second. So obviously we can all, you don't need me to read help files to you. That would be really interesting, wouldn't it? But let's go back to the
that would be how you would enter your due dates then with Sprint?
Well, no, you can enter due dates here. In fact, that's what I'm about to show you. One thing I noticed that's really cool. So in addition to the swim lanes, notice across the top we have our silos or our lists, right? And the lists pertain across the way, all the way down to each of the swim lanes that we might create, right? So it's like a grid. But, oh, I did that thing I was doing yesterday. So notice how under backlog, for example, we just have, one little column for backlog, but under design, I have in progress and done, right? Yeah. That has to do with how these columns are set up. So if I edit this column, for example, it doesn't look like it'll let me edit that one. Edit column. So the type is in progress. So you can either do in progress or to do, right? So in progress allows you to, create a task here. So you don't want to necessarily just mark it done and have it go away. You want it to still be there so you can reference it after you're done. So item to be done. Let's just create the card real quick. And this way, when it's done, it's still within the design area or the design column, but I can just move it over and say, okay, this is done now, right? Mm-hmm. So that's another thing that you can do, and you have that choice when you create these. And over here is the plus sign where you can create more columns, right? So you can create more columns, and as you're creating them, that's when you'll choose if it's in progress or to do. I'm guessing this one maybe doesn't let me change it because I've already got tasks in it. I'm not really sure. let's see what happens if I move any tasks out of this first backlog column. You know, and as you can see, it's really easy to move stuff around just like it is in Trello. My theory here is that if there's nothing in the column, I can change the type. I could be wrong, but that's what I want to test. And you know, this is how I test stuff. Is I'm like, all right, let me see what might cause it to make it so that you can't change its type, right? So let's make sure this column.
You have a checklist?
Hold on, hold that thought.
Yeah, looks like you can.
Okay, so no, this one I can't change the type either way. Now, okay, so now Gina, let's answer your question. Actually, two questions. So due dates and checklists. One way to mark it done is to just have a done column by making it an in progress column type and moving the task there. But the other way is to click on this, and here's where it's exactly like Trello. We can add members here. Time. That's a timeline. Here's where we add the due date. And we could write, or no, this is to log work, sorry. Over here is a checklist, add a checklist. So just like Trello, where you can add a checklist within a card. So there's your answer to that question. It's interesting that it doesn't appear that I can actually assign a due date to this. There's gotta be a way. What if I click, oh, here, it's under, I thought add was going to be to add another card. Okay, so under add, we can add a due date, we can add an estimate, we can log work, checklist, so this is cool. Write labels just like we have in Trello. Project version, so all of it's right here. And you know, you can also add pictures just like Trello, right? We can add images to this. I'm pretty sure just by dragging a photo. Let's test that theory. I need a good image. Where's my desktop? I don't have any images handy. First, let's just drag a file. So if I drop a file, it uploads it. Okay, that works. That's the registration report for this morning's webinar. Let's grab an image real quick. Google. Images, New York City. Save image, downloads. Bam. And what I'm looking for here is in Trello, when you drag an image, the first image you drag will become kind of like the title image for the card. Make cover. That will ensure it. See, now it becomes the image that sort of identifies the card. And that's something I've always loved about Trello is how you can use something like this to make it very visual, right? You can use images that, you know, a lot of us are visual responders, so to speak. So it's cool that you can do that. You know.
Before you move on, Camille has a question about checklists. Can you make them reoccurring? You really don't make them reoccurring in Trello either. You just copy from the last one. So I don't.
All right, so let's just add this as a checklist. And groceries. Let's just do a quick grocery list. Apples, oranges, pizza.
What else do we want to get to the grocery store?
I'm going to make us all hungry. Cheeseburgers, donuts, all really healthy food.
Yeah, right.
So now we have this, and just like Trello, as I check things off, it'll give me the percentage complete. We can hide completed items. We can delete it. It does not look like we have an option to make it recurring.
So now add a checklist somewhere else and see if that one comes up that you can copy.
Oh, is that what Trello does?
Yeah.
New checklist. So Trello shows you like existing checklists to copy from? That's interesting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, yes. Oh, it does not. You have to recreate it every time.
So let's go back to Trello. Let me see if
I
I
wonder if
can.
there's like a template section that you could create a template inside of it. Maybe.
So let's go. I just want to see if I can replicate what Gina's talking about. So checklist. Oh, copy items from. Aha, that's cool. So
You
Trello.
can.
Oh,
Sorry. Good morning. You all can. I'm on the Atlas now, and there's a way it says you can copy it. You can copy that checklist
okay.
All right.
on
So
the top.
let's.
The top on the top right side, top right of the corner of the card, I guess. Scroll all the way up. The three dots up there at the top. You can copy. I'm not sure what it does, but I'm following along with you. I'm
No,
going through the application with
this
you.
is not for the checklist specifically though. This is for the whole card. I can copy
Ah.
the link. I can copy the card. The checklist is just one component of the whole card, just like in Trello. But like
Okay.
Gina pointed out, and we just saw in Trello, if I go to add a checklist, it gives me a drop down as I'm adding it to let me copy it from an existing checklist. That option doesn't appear to exist here.
Okay.
Because remember, each card, this is one of the beauties of using a cloud-based app like this, is each card has its own unique URL. So if I wanted to link somebody directly to this card, they'd obviously have to be able to be logged into this, but I could do that by copying the link. I mean, you don't really need the copy link option here. I think they do that for people who don't necessarily know better, but you can just click in the URL while the card is open and copy that.
Would this be good for daily tasks, like daily bookkeeping tasks, or daily email tasks if you have a VA?
Yeah. In fact, that would be a great use case for the swim lanes, is have a swim lane for daily stuff and monthly stuff and then annual stuff, right? I might do something like that if I was using this for practice management. Right. So the main thing that attracted me to Atlas was that I can create these swim lanes and work downwards as well as to the side, right? And then you create the lists that pertain to everything, all the way down. So you kind of organize it upwards and downwards and right and left that way. But that would be a great.
To me, the swim lanes are the same as boards, though.
No, because boards aren't really together. You still, if I go back to my boards here, I don't have the boards all in the same context of the.
Oh,
the
I see. You can't see
I've
them all at
created.
the same time.
Exactly. So I mean, it's easy enough to switch between boards, I guess. But I always felt that what Trello was lacking here was the ability to kind of, like I always said, I would love to have another row where I can create more lists rather than having to go all the way to the right.
Got it.
Right? That was the biggest thing that got my attention with this, where I said, okay, this looks worth taking a look at. Because my main thing nowadays, especially when I'm looking at an app, and these guys actually reached out to me, and they had seen some of the other reviews I had done of some other apps, including what I had done on Trello. And my first sort of criteria in deciding if I want to take a closer look at something is, does it sort of solve a problem I don't already have solved somewhere, right? And in comparing it to Trello, this is the first thing that stood out to me.
So do you have anything else besides, you have Kanban?
So we have Kanban, Roadmap, Sprint, and then Backlog is the other one.
Okay, got it. So those are like the boards. And then you have
okay. So if you want to see the comparable to the boards, let's create a new one. So we add new, right? So you have boards, collections, and projects, right? So let's first add a project, and let's call it BWAM takes over
the world.
The world, exactly. Short name, 5 symbols, BWAM. All right, so we create a project.
And do you have to create a project before you do a board?
No, it doesn't appear that you do. But if you want, so now we have a project, and within that we can have, it looks like, as many boards as we want to. Right? So I imagine a board can stand alone, or it can be part of a project. Right? So let's try that. Let's add a board just separately. Add new board and say board outlier. Right? And here I can add it to a project or a collection, or I can just create it. See that? So now if I go back to my main menu here, of course it has my recent, but then here, see, it has my project, BWAM takes over the world. I had created a project called Nerd HQ, and it has all the sample ones in there, right? And then here it has unassigned boards, so it shows me here are the boards that aren't inside of a project. And we have the search. So if I'm looking for BWAM, I can type that and it takes me right to that project. Now the question is, how do I go to the project? So that got me in there. That was a little weird in the navigation though. So I want to know, how am I normally supposed to browse to a project if I want to just look at the project like we did when we were creating it? So if I go...
It's not in the overview too, somewhere?
Overview too?
No, in the overview. If you go back to the overview, is it not in there somewhere?
Hit your
No,
little
the
drop-
overview takes you to this kind of home screen. But what I'm getting at is, I would think if I clicked on just
hit your
here,
drop down there. Is there a drop down?
the drop down would only show me any projects that I created inside of the board.
Okay.
So that's a little weird. Like, how would I just navigate to the board? It looks like I had been in there. Of course, here's the activity. So Atlas team added you, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't even show the activity, reflecting that I had created these. Over here it does. Seth David moved tasks on Kanban board. So that's a little weird. I guess what you could do is, going over here, if I click on the gear icon, that actually takes me here. So it starts me off with general, members, where I could add members board. So I guess you are meant to hit the gear icon. It's just a little weird to me that I hit the gear icon and it takes me to a screen where I can change the name. I wouldn't necessarily want it to do that. I would want renaming a board to be something that was more of a deliberate action. You know what I mean? But anyway, I guess this, at least now I understand. And it looks like it gives you versions so that as you're making changes, you can restore old versions of it, which is kind of cool. So now here I'll add a board and say, where do we start? Right? We'll leave it as a Kanban. Notice it already shows me that the projects. And look, this is kind of cool. I could add it into 2 different projects, it looks like.
Oh, nice.
That's very cool. I could make this board part
Nice.
of 2 totally different projects. So if I have some crossover between projects, look at that. That's really cool.
Huh.
So now if I go here, I'll see where do we start here, and I see where do we start here under Nerd HQ. That's really cool. Let's go in. And so it starts us off with a very basic layout, right? Just 3 columns and no swim lanes. So let's create our swim lanes. We want daily. Monthly. Annual. Right?
Forgot quarterly.
We want quarterly? Okay, we'll do quarterly. Your wish is my command. I put Gina. I'll say quarterly for Gina. And now we want it in order. So I kind of want daily to be first, right? And then monthly, quarterly, then annual, and then we'll just put general at the top, right? Especially sometimes when I start a task off, I want to put like general information, like overview. All right, now let me see how easy it is to add people. I want to add Gina. So can I just put an email address in here? No. It looks like I'd have to go somewhere to like a people area and add you in as a user. So would that be here? If I say add new, do I add new people? Invite members. Gina, I'm going to invite you in. Wait, we have a chat. Camille says, I don't see how to make a checklist for. Oh, that was from before. I'm just a little late to the party. All right, Gina, I'm going to get your email address here and paste it in. If I could only get Gmail to cooperate. So what's your role, Gina? Are you a regular employee? Let's make you a company admin.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to put you into, where do we start? And that's good. I'll just put you in that one. And invite. Invitation has been sent. Gina, check your email.
Okay. Give me a couple minutes. It hasn't come through yet.
Okay. So it looks like this first column by default just has to be, you know, just a to-do type column. Right? Any others, it looks like, now this is interesting, simpler composite, because the type is in progress. That can't be changed then. And this one can't be changed. So these default columns can't be changed. I guess we can just rename them. Can we remove them if I just don't want it? No. That's good.
Okay, I've just sent my, oh, and it actually brought Atlaz up for me. So I'm there now.
Cool.
But it tells me I have to upgrade and I have 12 days left. Does that mean?
See, I have a free trial too that I'm on. I have 12 days left. That's weird.
Okay.
And look, you can add WIP limits, work in process limits. So add work in process limits to this column. I don't know exactly how that works or what that means, but it's cool to know that there's a feature like that there. And if I edit this from composite to simple.
Oh, I get it. Huh. Split the column.
Yeah. So composite, it splits it up between in progress and done.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just a to-do column, then there's no choice to even split it anymore. So it seems that changing it to an in-progress type column is what gives you the choice then to say simpler composite, and composite is what breaks it up between in progress and done. So Gina, are you in here? Are you able to make changes?
Well, I haven't made any changes yet. I don't know what I'm allowed to do. Okay, I'll find something to do and see if
Yeah,
we can...
try adding a task. I want to see how real-time the collaboration is and how well that works. All right, and while you're doing that, I'm going to take a very quick bio break.
Okay, I added a task. Now I need Seth to be here to move on. This does look a lot like Trello, but I wonder how much it costs. I wonder what the price is for this.
It's free for up to 5 users, and then for up to 6 to 10. Let me go back. For small teams, 1 to 5 is free forever. Up to 100 users, it's $9 per user, per member. 100, I'm on the pricing page. 101 to 250 users is $6 per user. And 251 users and up is $1.50 per user. So if you got a small team, 5 and under is free.
Well, I wonder what they consider a team, because if I were on Seth's team, I would be one of his, 10 people. On my own team, I would be 1. So am I included in the I need to pay $9 a month if I want to work on Seth's team?
Yeah, on Seth's team, if he has like 9 people, yes, because you'd be up under his company profile. But up under your profile, if you were to create an account, not as a user of his account, but your own company account, you have your own URL. I created one like who was doing this just to see, because I'm hands-on. So I created one, and if I invite people that work with me, then I can have up to 5 members. Now I have VAs, and they have their own businesses, and they establish their own account as a active user, I guess. Then they would have 5 people for free. Okay. But you being a user on someone else's, that does not count towards yours. That counts towards theirs.
I guess I get it. I would think that I wouldn't want to pay up until 5 users, no matter what anyone else's team is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
You wouldn't pay like no if you were on if Seth invited you to his team to work on his team and he surpassed at 5 free users, then he'll be responsible for paying for your seat on his team.
right,
Not on
right.
I don't know. I'm looking through it. I'm comparing it with Trello. I have both of them open right now. I'm going through what Seth is doing. I'm a hands-on learner, so I'm just going through it and I notice like, wait a minute, the checklist, it can't recur it. I can't copy it or whatever. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it does seem like comparing 2D to 3D to me.
yeah.
You know, like where Trello seems to be a 2D thing, this seems to be a 3D thing. You have that extra Swimlane thing that you can do, which would be great, you know, for daily, for like exactly how he has it set up for clients.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure how the users are working, and I'm really doesn't seem right to me that if I have my own account and Seth wants to invite me, even though he has 10 users, that I should have to pay.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
I have only me and 1 user.
Right. I don't know.
Or does Seth have to pay?
Seth would have to pay, not you.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's atlas.io, but I keep getting 404 not found every time I look for it.
Atlas with a Z.
Yeah, doing that. And
Let me
it's
put
not
it.
enough for me.
It says for a free account, you could have a team up to 5 individuals, right? And,
Right.
I'm wondering, Seth must have more than have 5 because he only gets the 14-day test, right?
I don't know what that upgrade is about because if it's free for 5 people and it's just me, why are you showing me an upgrade?
That's where I'm at with it now too. I'm looking at, you know, they automatically put me in the trial. I did not. Well, I put in my name, my email, and a password.
Right. So upgrade is probably just to go take a paid account if you like what you see so far, right?
But what's different for a paid account? There's nothing showing me different. It's only showing me the price per member that's different. There's no added features or functions that are different for a paid account. So why am I having an upgrade?
I think what's going to happen is after 12 days, you're not going to have access to anything. So they let you have full access to it for 12 days or whatever it is. I would think it would be more than 12 days because I've been in this for a couple of days now. So whatever it is, my thinking is that once you pass the free trial period, you're locked out from any of it until you, until you pay.
That's crazy because it's telling you that if you have a small team from 1 to 5 members, then it's free forever. So if I only put 1 member on here, then why are you showing me the upgrade?
Oh, okay. So I didn't get that far with it. So you're saying they're telling you that it's free permanently for 1 member?
Mm-hmm. 1 to 5 members for small teams, free forever. And then, so if you look on the pricing, and then 6 to 100 members is $9 per member. And 101 to 249 is $6.
Okay,
and anything
so
over
the upgrade is done if you need more than 5 members.
So my question, Seth, was you have a team of 25 people. I'm only me. I'm 1 person. I sign up for Atlaz, and I'm 1 person. Do I have to pay that $9 because it's over your 5 member?
I would have to believe that if I invited you into my Take Over the World project, that your account that you have to take would be a free account until you want to add more than 5 people.
I would assume that too, but you know what assuming does.
I do. But meantime, I'm curious, while I was on my short bio break, were you able to get in here and make any changes or do anything?
Yeah, you see me down there, Seth and Gina Take Over the World.
Oh, that you created that. Okay, so now let's try this, because this is always where I like to have fun with these things. I'm going to drop my registration report in here, right? And tell me how quickly you see that, such that you could download it.
Okay, not yet. Let me refresh my screen. I'm refreshing, but I'm working on a Windows 7 computer here. I'm actually on a different computer, not the same one that I'm doing, where I would share my screen.
I can't even get the site to pull up for me for some reason.
Atlaz.io.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not seeing it at all yet.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
I wonder how long that takes.
Huh.
And you put it in the task there, Seth and Gina take over the world?
Yeah, it's right here under attachments.
Oh, okay. You know what? I did not get any notices once I went in there. I do see it now.
Cool. All right, now let's do one other thing. This is just for fun.
But I don't see how to open it.
You should just be able to click on it and then download it.
It's not allowing me to. Added in.
You see the little arrow here? The little arrow that's on it?
Okay, I got it.
Actually, if I just click on the thing itself, it takes me to download it. But the little
It didn't for me, but again, this may be because my
because it's an ancient.
computer is an older computer.
It's ancient.
Ancient. I know, it is. I like it like that.
Found it in the Egyptian pyramids.
I actually paid to have it upgraded recently.
Oh,
Stay
goodness.
on my Windows 7. There are things like Media Player that Microsoft like really downgraded, and I like the old Media Player.
Oh, really?
Well, you can rip CDs from it. You can't with the new.
Yeah. See, I haven't ripped a CD in like I think since the Egyptian pyramids.
And my recent purchase was Steve Kritzer's CD. He just came out with one. Sammy has a recording called "Bring on the Rain" that I just love. And
See, I just get everything from Spotify. Is he not on Spotify?
No. I'll have to send you the link.
No,
Look, you sent it to me. And not even a nice one. Thank you.
Oh, it was just a screenshot from our thumbnails here.
Oh, my goodness.
Luck of the draw.
The fun of playing with Seth. You just can't take yourself seriously.
I'll remove it since you said it wasn't flattering.
It was not.
Oh, man.
All right, hold on, Gina. I want a big smile right now.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. You got to hold that smile because Snagit's going to freeze it. All right, big cheesy smile. Got it. I think that's perfect. All right,
Okay.
now we.
Oh, you're all so funny.
So it tells me on my screen that you added the attachment, but then you deleted it.
Yep.
So
So now I'm going to add a new one.
Oh, nice. So activity with time, huh? Cool.
Yeah, you see on my screen?
Yeah.
add Camille. Let her play too. Come on.
I'm on my phone. I'm not on my computer. Let me go to my. I'm sorry.
The mobile app. Hold on. It has a mobile app.
That's all that's pulling up for me for some reason. Is it wants me to get it off the mobile app on my desktop? It won't.
Are you possibly in mobile mode? Because you know how laptops have like the mobile mode now.
Yeah, I'm not though. I don't know what's up. I've tried on two computers.
Strange.
It is strange.
You can add me, invite me. I'm Camille at TCMTax and our.com. Let me.
Hold on, I'll do that now.
He's ready.
I know, right? He stays ready. Now don't laugh because I'm on Windows 7 too. That's why I was laughing at Gina. Because I love my Windows 7.
Thank you.
That's funny. I loved Windows 7 before Windows 10 came around. Then I fell in love with Windows 10.
Well, I am zooming on my Windows, well, it's 8.1 machine. I didn't move up until 10 until I got my laptop.
Gotcha. All right, Camille, I've got your email here from the registration report for today. We're going to put you into Where Do We Start? And we're going to make you...
That was what you put up there, the registration for today.
What? Oh, that's true. I did put the registration report in there. So now, sorry, we all have each other's email address. I hope nobody minds.
No.
Seth invited you to collaborate with Nerd Enterprises.
Stop.
Nice.
Collaborate and listen.
Wow, he's on it.
All right. Okay, here I go.
Oh, you didn't answer the question, what socks are you wearing?
Is that Laura's question? She always asks me that. Yeah, she always asks what color socks are you wearing.
Laura?
She asks questions, but then she never shows up for the live event. I forgot to check our Facebook feed, by the way. We need to look
Okay, cool. I'm here.
All right, so you're in, and I've got the mobile app up on my screen. Well, I've got my mobile phone. Let's go into the mobile app. And because now we're going to test that. We have about 10 minutes left, but first I want to check our live feed here and see if we have any comments in the peanut gallery. So let's see. Sarah says, is there a way to have a conversation thread anywhere? So just like Trello, we can comment in the cards, right? I can go into any of these cards. And so Seth and Gina, see, Gina, that's a much nicer picture, right? You have a nice
Absolutely,
smile.
thank you.
So Gina and I and Camille now.
The harvest moon.
Let me see if I can tag at Camille and say, welcome to the House of Fun.
Okay, so let me hit notifications.
So I just posted that comment. You should get a notification, and you should be able to look. There's even reply all. So if we have several people tagged in the post, that's kind of neat. Meanwhile, let me go into my mobile app now, and let's go into BUM Takes Over the World. Where do we start?
Cool.
The mobile app actually. Are you all looking at my screen? The mobile
Oh
app
my gosh.
has a pretty
I'm
cool.
glad you really didn't put that awful picture up there. Thank you.
Your wish is my command, Gina. If you tell
Thank
me you
you.
don't like the picture I put up, I take it down. This is cool. And then all activity.
Man, I can't get it.
Oh, look at that.
What do we got?
I think I like it.
So now the question is from here, can I add a swim lane? I can. Swim lanes. Oh, so I see this is how you switch to swim lanes, because on the mobile app, it looks like you can only view one swim lane at a time. So no, this lets me name them. How do I switch to a different swim lane?
Seth, you should do your. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how within the mobile app to switch to a different swim lane. It's not from here. It should be from this menu then. Because if I go here to swim lanes, it looks like that's just, well, let's see. Maybe if
There's your swim lanes, yes. And you can't click on them to go to them?
If I tap it, it just wants me to edit the name of it.
Oh, that's
And I
ugly.
can add a swim lane here. There's got to be a way to do it.
Where's those? What do you get when you click on those three dots? Go back to your.
So over here, swim
That's
lanes,
swim
the three
lanes.
dots, edit or
Yeah,
delete.
to the right. Oh, that's it.
And you can't do it on the left, huh, with the hamburger looking.
I don't know, because I have where do we start, which is the board that we're in.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way. I'm just missing it, right? Because
And it's got to be something so simple.
yeah, I would think it should be here. It should be here where it says swim lanes. I should be able to just switch to a swim lane, right?
Mm-hmm. That would be my thinking.
That looks like an edit button of some sort. And,
It is.
Can you scroll down? You had today. There's your today. Well,
Oh wait. Here? This is the activity feed.
oh, okay, got it.
All right. So a little friction here trying to figure out on the mobile app how to get to the swim lanes. How to get to, all right, you know what? Because it's me, we're going to add a new swim lane here. Because now I need to learn how to get to Sesame Street.
Let Sarah join.
Sarah, you want to join?
sure, it won't even.
Oh, you were having trouble here.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see what it does with Sarah. Maybe it'll bring it up for you.
Maybe it will. Maybe it's.
All right, Sarah, where
That's
are
what
you
we
in the
do. We
registry?
try and have fun and test these out.
I'm hiding in the registration.
I don't see you in there, probably because I downloaded it after you joined. I think that's why. Sarah Prevost, Sarah P. You know, Sarah, we don't email very much, do we?
Nope.
I know what it is. It's mintage.
Black.
It's true, we don't. It's like email is back to the Egyptian pyramids.
And my Windows 7 machine, thank you very much. And my CDs.
Oh, goodness.
That's how I save my CDs. I've lost many of them, and I've been
Dennis,
able to
I know you're paying attention.
because I ripped it.
See,
Well,
smart.
just know you're not by yourself. I'm with you on that because, you know,
Okay,
I was laughing, but I'm with you on the Windows 7.
Thank you.
But I upgraded my memory so it can be faster.
Well, that's what I originally thought I was going to, put it to rest and not use it, but
By the way, look, sorry to interrupt, but look, I figured it out. Within each list, you have the different swim lanes just consolidated into that list. You see here?
What am I looking at?
Oh, at the bottom.
Monthly, quarterly,
Oh!
annual. It's in the actual list. So if I go,
got it.
Okay, here's
so
my.
from the mobile, if I say add a task,
Yeah.
I can say, holy cow.
I
And then
got it.
Wait a minute. Where did it go?
Where did it add it?
I didn't mean to add it yet. Let's try this again. Oh, here it is. It wasn't added yet. So, holy cow.
Wow, that's the only way it came up for me is by you inviting me in.
Well, Gina had a good thought there then. All right, so holy cow.
How does it add you to the swim to ask you what swim list to put it in?
Yeah, it should be, right? Well, I'm in Sesame Street now when I've added it because it automatically goes to the first list. All right, so now it looks like I've added it. There it is. Now I could probably tap it and drag it. Look at that.
Animal.
Okay,
You
now
said
I'm in the
Muppet,
card.
Sesame Street. I was thinking of
What?
when you said like Sesame Street, I was thinking of Muppet, so I added animal.
I was thinking of Pink Floyd's album,
Oh, yeah.
Animals. Okay.
Look.
We got to do one of those photos.
Super cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy that the only way it would pull up for me is by you inviting me in.
Animal. Sarah Prevost. All right, but now we need a picture of Animal in there.
He's crazy. Look at him.
Snuffleupagus. Oh, okay. The snuff. Or that would be cool too.
He's in progress.
Okay. Sarah, you could put your little cool Supergirl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Iron Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to put her? Okay. How about over?
Create a new card.
Okay.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
Be cool if I could create, let me see if I can change my little icon and put a picture. I don't have any pictures on this computer though. Change avatar.
Yeah, I'm going to send this to our friends at Atlaz so they can see what we did. This is going to be funny. They're going to have Animal and Iron Woman.
and
They're
take
gonna be
over
like-
the world.
They're going to be like, yeah, you know what? We really don't need you trying our app anymore. Thank you for your interest. But we're going to take our stuff elsewhere now.
I'm trying to figure out how I add a photo on this card.
You just drag and drop.
Okay, got it.
I mean, that's one way. The other way is to actually go into the card and add an attachment. So if I go into Overview and you go Add, do estimate log, checklist, labels, project notes, not from there.
So I just changed my avatar picture.
Oh, crap. Somehow I got
Oh,
it.
here, Sarah, on the card, there's a little paperclip icon. So if you wanted to browse to the file, that's how you would do it.
Oh, I just got out of it, and now it won't let me back in. Whoa, here we go. That's so weird. I'm using Chrome. I don't know why it's...
Although it didn't change it.
Sarah Laidlaw is watching on Facebook. She says it integrates with Slack, GitHub, and Zendesk.
Oh.
And she says she's getting a lot of 404 errors on their website.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting this.
Huh.
I had to
So
get invited.
Sarah had asked earlier, how would you organize it by client? So going back to that, I think that, that's really, there's flexibility there in terms of how you want to set it up. I guess my thought is if we look at the Add New menu and we see the different things we can add, I would probably have a project for the client and then a board, for each project within that. Right? Or maybe you would create a collection, and the collection would be the client, and then within that you'd have projects and boards. Again, that's totally up to you how you want to
I would
organize
think
it.
collection, and you would say clients, and then each one of the clients would be either a board or a project.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think a collection would be the client, and then a project would be the different projects you have to do for them, and then the boards go inside the projects based on what you need to track, right? So anyway, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Like I said, the thing that really got me about this was the swim lanes thing. And anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so now how many people do I have? How many peoples? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm almost at my limit. Yeah. Gina, Sarah, me. Camille, is that you, TM?
Yeah. my sister and I have like similar first names. It's awful.
Gotcha.
Oh, look, it did change my avatar.
Yeah, it changed your avatar. Look at you, Gina Rocky. Ooh, I can remove you from the board. All right, well, we can keep this board open and have some fun with it and report back if anybody discovers anything new or interesting, exciting. I'm going to send the link to this recording to the people at Atlaz who reached out to me. And, I always like to do this. And then what I'll do is I'll invite somebody from their company to come and give us the real demo so that we can actually see what we missed and have them fill in the blanks. And as always, I hope this actually provides good feedback for them in terms of where we got stuck, where we found friction. I think the biggest sticking point was on the mobile app, it wasn't clear how to access the swim lanes. So maybe, I don't know, something telling you, hey, look below. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I'm not an engineer or designer.
Or a print that actually is a little bit more contrast. I think they've been fading out. Sarah's the one that said that. Sarah Laidlaw is the one that always says that for whatever reason, the color is draining.
Well, you know what? If they had organized the web experience more similarly to how this is organized on the mobile, I probably would have had a clearer understanding of what to look for. Because I was looking for, because you see on the web how each row is sort of segregated, even going across and overlapping the columns. In the mobile app, it stays within the column. I think that's where I got tripped up a little bit. And actually, I like the way it's organized on the mobile a little better almost, but I guess also on the web, this makes it clear. See, on the mobile, looking at the done column where I don't have any cards yet, it's very clear, oh, here are all the swim lanes, I can see that. But what got confusing was going to one that had stuff, you can't really tell that it's broken out by swim lane inside of the column. That's right. Where I got stuck, is because I was looking for it to be somehow more similar to the the web experience. Sarah, what's so funny? What are you laughing?
Oh, just she likes my Iron Woman.
Oh,
That's my go-to. I put that on my Slack teams when I invite clients in the beginning.
where's your Iron Woman at? Where'd you put it?
It's in the
In the what?
Ha, on the monthly Swimlane.
But I can't seem to get it to come up like a little.
Oh, so then you have to click on the little arrow and choose make cover.
Oh, got it. Okay, there it
Trello
is.
just sort of forces the first image you add, and it makes that the cover by default. Here you have to tell it that you actually want that to be the cover.
I love that.
And which I like this better, actually, because I don't necessarily want that first picture to be the cover. I might be adding it in a different order, and I want to be able to say this is the cover, or maybe I want the images in there without a cover, right?
It's a little. I like it that it's the first one.
Yep.
But
Okay.
So I would say one of my I guess features that I would be interested in knowing if they are able to do is recurring. Do I have to do I have to copy it each time, or is there ways that I can
have a template of it?
have a template? Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Well, and the 404, I'm getting Sarah Laidlaw's issue too. If I wasn't invited, I couldn't pull it up.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I think you're all
So the
just
big question is Seth going to switch from Trello to Atlaz?
I don't actually use Trello anymore at this point. I was just curious about the apps, and since they kind of told me to compare them side by side, that's what I wanted to do. I'm already all set in my own practice between Smartsheet and Active Collab. Those are my two favorite project management tools, and it's going to take a lot to get me to switch away from those. Smartsheet I love because it's so customizable in terms of tracking anything I can imagine I would want to track.
Well, anybody that loves Excel as much as you do would absolutely fall in love with Smartsheet. That's a no-brainer.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I don't use Smartsheet's spreadsheet features that much. The reason I mainly love Smartsheet is I use a lot of date-based fields so I can trigger reminders and notifications at will. That's where I find Smartsheet becomes really valuable. And because then, like, I have clients where when we're doing the full business management, every 2 days, we get a reminder from Smartsheet to update the bank balances in a project that we have in Smartsheet. And then next to that, it's got a prudent reserve. And next to that, it shows us if we're over or under. And of course, if we go under our prudent reserve, it's going to light the whole row up in yellow and red. And then that's going to trigger a notification to get emailed to me tomorrow morning, so that I'm reminded that I need to follow up with the client and say, hey, we're running low on funds, right? So it's things like that, those kinds of workflows that are the reason why I love Smartsheet. And so there's a little bit of spreadsheet functionality in that I wrote the formula to take the difference between what we key in as today's balance and the prudent reserve. But that's not really all that sophisticated as far as that goes. It's, but your point's taken, Gene. Of course, if you love spreadsheets, you're going to love Smartsheet. But I just love the customizability of it. And then we have one of our 97 and up members who said she's completely overwhelmed by Smartsheet. So I said, you know what, then use Active Collab, because Active Collab has, in my opinion, the perfect layout for any kind of project management or practice management. There's not any real customization to be done. It's just setting up your projects and creating your tasks and task lists and then go, So I love that. I don't love Asana. I played with Asana. I ran Asana and Active Collab side by side for months because I couldn't decide. And then it was the second time really that I was testing out Asana, and I ran into the same issue both times, which is that I think once I got about 6 months in, I had accumulated a lot of data in Asana and found that it was difficult to find what I was looking for in Asana. And somebody in our Slack team, in our Between Will and Main Slack team yesterday, we were discussing this. Somebody pointed out that they had a similar experience in that they would get a notification from Asana and then click over to follow up, and it was hard to find it. There's, you can create tags in Asana, but there's no place to go to see a list of the tags. You have to know what tag you're looking for, and you can call it up in a search. To me, that's horrible. I want to be able to see a list of tags because I don't remember how I tagged something. I created a tag. Maybe I had a typo in it when I created it, and now I can't find it in a list to figure out what it is and correct or remove it. So there's a lot of little things about Asana that I honestly can't stand. And Active Collab, instead of tags, has labels, and they're really easy to use and manage. So for a lot of reasons, I ultimately chose Active Collab over Asana. And this is cool if you like this kind of Trello-like project management tool. I like Atlaz. And I like the features it has. But Larry, going back to your question / comment, I'm not switching to anything. I love what I have right now, but I also love exploring these apps and seeing what they can do. Because you never know. Somebody might come in my door tomorrow that based on what their needs are, I might say, you know what, this new tool Atlaz that I just started playing around with might actually work really well for you. Just because something works well for me doesn't mean it's going to work well for everybody else, right? That's the important thing to remember on this. You know, nobody's got the market cornered on what's the only one and only project management tool to use. Lots of different tools out there, lots of different people with a different set of needs. And I think our job as consultants is to listen very carefully to our clients and the people who are relying on us for this kind of information, understand what those needs are, and know these tools really well so that we can recommend the best possible tool based on their needs. I think that's my goal with this kind of stuff at the end of the day, is to have an arsenal of tools at my disposal that I'm familiar with so that I can make the right recommendations when the time comes. Rant over.
Cool.
And so ends today's episode.
And we will see you all next week.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
See you all.